Howdy Banger Pals, Blaine Smith joining you because it's that time of year. Yes, we're halfway through the year for releases because who the hell's putting out an album after end of year lists come out in December, am I right? Haha. Anyways, we're halfway through the year for releases, and at this point, we always head on over to our Patreon campaign and ask our supporters, hey, what albums did we miss? There's too many albums that come out every year to cover, and some always fall through the cracks. So we ask you, hey, what albums should we have covered? And we get a list of 10. They're broken up. I'm gonna do 5 today, 5 next week, and we'll figure out the top 10, what we missed of the first half of 2024. So without further ado, of course, you've been asking for Judas Priest. Where's the Judas Priest review? Where's the Judas Priest review? Every goddamn video we put out, why isn't this a Judas Priest review? So anyways, that's why I'm talking about High on Fire, Cometh the Storm on MNRK Heavy that came out April 19th. So some bands can make the same shit over and over and over again, and it's a real problem. Others can do it, and for some reason it's fine. Insert that meme of nice, creepy interaction in the office. High on Fire definitely fall into the second camp. The album opens strong, as High on Fire loves to do, so it sets you at ease. But I was nervous because this is the first album without Des Kensel on drums, which drumming has always been a great part of High on Fire, and that normally would have caused a big gap. But they quickly employed Cody Willis from Big Business, and boy howdy does he deliver, as I would expect him to. So I'm actually pumped that the drummer changed. Shocking, I know. I like the Turkish and Middle Eastern theme they deploy here. It's a good way to break up the normal High on Fire sound that sounds like High on Fire, as we mentioned earlier. I love interlude Karnalik Y'all. It's super cool. I actually think they could have used this stuff less sparingly though and deployed some more of it throughout the album, and it would have really benefited things, because there are definitely some duds here that I would have just replaced with a Middle Eastern jam. Cometh the Storm is a miss, and they do something weird with Matt's voice, and I could have just gone for some sound instead of that. And I could replace some stuff because holy hell, this album's long and it mostly sounds the same, as we've established. It's the classic, hey, should we release our longest album 25 years into our career? Fuck no, why do guys always do this? Stop it! Hunting Shadows tries to save the end of the album by being a pretty big departure for the band, but it's not the end of the album, it's the second last track on the album, and Darker Fleece is a 10-minute plot of a closer, and as always, chop that bad boy off. The record's a solid 47 minutes. You got a phenomenal cover by Eric Roper, and everything would have been gravy. Regardless, things are still good. It's High on Fire. Can High on Fire ever truly screw up? Probably not. So that's why it's getting 3.5 out of 5 skulls that are absolutely too long, though. The skulls are too long. That's not what a skull looks like. But look, I know how long you guys have been waiting for the Judas Priest review, so I imagine you can wait a little longer. Ingested, The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams on Metal Blade Records came out April 5th. Well, in the end, the joke's on me because I had to listen to deathcore, so thanks, I really appreciate it. But I do actually appreciate it. We appreciate the support over on Patreon. Thanks for tossing us a couple bucks so we can make all this content. Now, as far as sins go, this does commit far fewer than what I expect out of the genre. The guitars on Where No Light Shine escape the shackles that normally come with this sound and just wind up being straight up cool. But Of course, the record must sin. It simply must. It cannot resist temptation. I'm sitting here, I'm getting into the record, I'm saying, okay, this isn't so bad. My little toesies are warming up. I'm feeling like, okay, actually, we might make it through a whole record without, are they not going to? And of course, no, there's clean singing. Don't worry, there's clean singing. Starve the Fire has a little bit of clean singing. It's kind of subtle. Maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe that, never mind. In Nothingness, holy hell, I was like, ew, why does this sound like a nu metal song? What is this, Korn? And then I found out it sounds like a nu metal song because there's a nu metal guest vocalist on the track. Cool. And closing song goes full clean singing. With this style, it just clashes so much, it makes my skin crawl. Ugh. And this also does commit the gravest sin of all, which is it's just been produced within an inch of its life. I simply don't understand how something sounding this clinical is appealing to people. I don't find this record harsh or brutal or intense because it just sounds really sterile and it all kind of blends together. Hype-ass David Sedman cover though, so they avoided that pitfall. That's crazy for a deathcore band. Good job nailing a cover, guys. Anyways, 2 out of 5 skulls. The skulls are from the cover because a deathcore band that didn't ruin an album cover is something to celebrate. Let's go! Wait, I'm having a hard time telling with this bit. Is he not gonna review Judas Priest? He has to review Judas Priest. He wouldn't do that to us, right? He wouldn't intentionally infuriate us like that, would he? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's stick around until after I talk about Arma, New Heaven on Relapse Records, April 26th. Hey, now this is an album I can get on board with. Thank God this is pod racing. We start with some real Imperial Triumphant type chaos, but the album actually features a good mix of chaos and song, which are normally hard things to bridge, hard things to blend together, and they don't come in one band. But a track like Endless Gray will come in, and it's a short track, but it has this bright black metal sound in a way that I do not hate, which is shocking. It almost sounds like someone heavy metalized Nun, or like Rat-a-tat playing depressive black metal or something. Again, it sounds like something I would hate, but because it's used sparingly, it never wears out its welcome. There's a massive range of sounds on this record, and it's just constantly stealing your attention. If you can put this record on and focus something else, I don't know, you're dead. Your ears have fallen off. Where'd your ears go? What happened to them? I hope it wasn't a tragedy. But whenever they're building to anything on the record, the payoff is always so worth it that's what's grabbing the attention all the time. It's very, very impressive. This is the type of band that makes post-metal a valuable genre because they actually digest and then expand on a lot of sounds from metal, a lot of different genres. They're just mad scientists in a lab and they're just mixing stuff, and it seems like, well, let's just mix this together and see what happens. And then they're like, oh, that's a useful product. I guess we should market and sell that. My only real complaint is I have a hard time taking things seriously because I'm obviously a clown. I'm a buffoon, I'm a fool. So the, I don't know, like Leonard Cohen-esque closer is fucking dumb. And the album cover is our first dud on the list. So don't love that, but hey, that's the only bad things I have to say. That's great. 4 out of 5 skulls that are grinning ear to ear. So at this point, you know the bit, you know what's happening, you know Judas Priest gonna be last. So let's just talk about Aborted Vault of Horrors on Nuclear Blast, March 15th. So this album has a thing going on where every song has a feature vocalist on it, which in concept I hate, but I do have to say executionally I fucking hate it. I know having a guest vocalist is sort of Aborted's thing, but this is every song, every single song, and it's exhausting. I also don't get why it's Aborted's thing. Like, Sven is a great vocalist. He's also a great dude. I like Sven. I want to think of Sven when I think of Aborted, not all these random jagoffs. Sorry, jagoffs, nothing personal. But hey, Blaine, a new guest vocalist must make this a really varied album, eh? A new soundscape to explore on each. I wonder all the dimensions they go to. Well, let's break down each vocalist by track, shall we? So from track 1 to 10, like I said, different vocalist on each track. Let's talk about their disciplines. Up first, track 1, deathcore vocalist, symphonic death vocalist, deathcore vocalist, deathcore vocalist, tech death vocalist, deathcore vocalist, death metal vocalist, tech death vocalist, deathcore vocalist, deathcore vocalist. Holy hell, that's the most I've said deathcore in my life. That sure is a lot of deathcore vocalists, eh? I wonder, does that make this sound like a deathcore record? Well, the deathcore-ass production doesn't help. There are cool moments like on Shape of Hate and The Golgothan, which coincidentally, oh look at that, are 2 tracks that don't feature a deathcore vocalist. Malevolent Haze closes things out with the most deathcore stomp of all, and I just can't deal with it. I know I just hate deathcore, but if you're gonna have 10 features, would it not be a good idea to have like 10 different folks doing different things? And wait a minute, why am I apologizing for not wanting a bunch of deathcore guys all up in my Aborted?
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
I'm not implying anything else about these guys from the content of that song. I'm sure they're all very nice guys. I just, it's a lot of deathcore. I don't like it. 2 out of 5 skulls that are all just deathcore guys, I guess. Just a bunch of, each skull is made up of a little deathcore faces, like a mosaic. Now we move on to our last album, but before we do that, I just want to remind you, part 2 of this will be coming out next week, next Tuesday, so please keep an eye out for that, and that will feature the Judas Priest review you've all been asking for. So, without further ado, to close things out, we're talking about Spectral Voice, okay, I'm just kidding. Judas Priest, Invincible Shield, Sony Music, March 8th, here you go. So the album starts huge. Panic Attack sounds like it's off turbo, which is quite the compliment coming from me. I'm also stoked on Invincible Shield, which wouldn't be out of place on a power metal album. A tasteful power metal album, but a power metal album nonetheless. And I know I'm complimenting those 2 songs, but Serpent and the King ain't no slouch neither. The level of energy is great just all over the record. Rob Halford is still a force. I don't know how he keeps his voice sounding this young. I guess it's the blood of 100 young boys or something, but yeah, easily the most graceful aging of all metal vocalists. All salute the king, the god. He is truly the metal god. But everyone else in the band is keeping things up. Tracks are fast, and that's what I want out of Judas Priest. Unfortunately, things do fall off a bit after the first 3. Devil in Disguise sounds like a Frontiers record tier track, which is not a compliment coming from me, Smile. And while they've mostly avoided the pitfalls of old age, they did trip and fall without a medical alert bracelet on the classic thing. I don't know what it is about old guy musicians that can't avoid this, but every old guy thinks, hey, you know it'd be great? An hour-long record, right? Wrong! The album cover also looks like an energy drink flavor announcement. Invincible Shield, it provides you with the shield against exhaustion on and off the court. Blah, why? Judas Priest, you used to have such good album covers. I mean, there's some duds in there, but there's some real classics. Why is this just this swirling in the back literally looks like An energy drink. We're talking about Judas Priest Bang Energy. Sorry, we're talking about Judas Priest Invincible Shield. Thankfully, we get a strong closer with some Carlos Santana action going on in Giants in the Sky. So I did really like the record. I don't think you guys should have screamed at me in the comments for 2 months about it, but 3.5 out of 5 skulls that are wearing Leather Daddy hats. There! Are you happy now? You got your review. Is that enough for you? What do you want from me? I don't know what I want from you. Like, comment, subscribe, check out next week. Reminder to support us on Patreon, and then you can vote on the albums we talk about. You also get a bonus Blaine video there every week. So there's incentives. There's things going on. I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll hang out. I hope to see you again soon. And oh, look, this is fun. Woo, doggies, yay, doggies.